The functionalist theory of religion is fairly predictable. Functionalists argue that we are in a consensus. So we all have shared norms and values, and religion contributes to these shared norms and values. Functionalists also argue that all parts of society are interrelated. So religion is an important aspect of society and affects other institutions and organisations such as education and politics. As you know, functionalists use the biological analogy to explain society. So each part of society is like an organ. Every single organ is needed. However, a criticism of such a theory is that, is religion really needed? And have other organisations in society taken over the functions of religion? I suppose if we want to liken religion to an organ in the body, we might liken it to an appendix. It's quite easy to take out and not really necessary. So, in society, functionalists argue that there are functional prerequisites. That is, that there are things that we need for society to function, the basics of the society. And these three things are social integration, social solidarity, and consensus. So social integration is that everybody in society needs to get along and be integrated into society. It's quite similar to social solidarity, which means that we need a sense of belonging. And also we need a general consensus. We need to have the same shared norms and values. If we don't have social integration, social solidarity, and consensus, anomie might result. And anomie is basically a sense of meaninglessness and a lack of belonging in society. And that leads to society breaking down. So religion helps to meet these prerequisites by providing beliefs to follow, which link to the shared norms and values and lead to a consensus. And also by uniting people in society and giving them a sense of social solidarity and social integration, because they're united in the same beliefs. So Tischler argues that religion helps to maintain norms and values. Violations of religious codes are often violations of laws. Some examples might be thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not steal. Religion also reaffirms the group's beliefs and values and makes those beliefs and values more set in stone. Another function is that it transmits a group's cultural heritage, which is their identity. This therefore gives the group a stronger sense of belonging in society. It also gives emotional support for individuals during times of stress. So individuals are able to pray and gain hope and gain answers when they need it most. And finally, religion brings people together and gives them social cohesion. It's the glue that binds people together. And that is because not only do they have a shared sense of identity, but they also have shared norms and values. And perhaps they may go to the same place of worship and worship together, which helps the group become more cohesive. Durkheim defines religion as a unified system of beliefs and practices relative to sacred things, set apart and forbidden. He argues that every single society divides the world into two clear and distinct categories, the sacred and the profane. The sacred are the things that we regard as special, and the profane are the things that we regard as ordinary. So in Islam, they regard the Quran as sacred, and they have to wrap the Quran in a cloth and place it on the highest shelf. That would be an example of something that we may see as sacred. Many things are sacred. However, they are symbols, so they must represent something. Durkheim argued that religion did not need to involve the belief in gods, but religion did need to have the presence of the sacred. Durkheim saw totemism practiced by the Aboriginals as the most simplest form of religion. And he studied totemism because he regarded it as the simplest form, and therefore he argued that you could find out about the basics of religion and the meaning of religion by looking at the simplest form of religion. So in this Aboriginal culture then, clan members have a duty to assist each other and join together to grieve, and they also join together for revenge on another clan. Each clan has a totem. The totem is sacred, it is a symbol, and it's a sign by which the clan distinguishes itself. It is a visible form of God, and it is the most sacred symbol. Durkheim argues it's not just a symbol of God, it is also a symbol of society. This is because society and God are one. As a result, he says, when worshipping God, people are really worshipping society. Humans are inferior and dependent on the sacred, which is the totem. This is the same relationship between society and people. People are inferior to society and are dependent on it. However, it's very difficult for people to worship society because society is abstract, it's not solid. So it's easier to direct feelings towards a symbol than the whole clan. Therefore, when the clan are gathering round the totem and worshipping the totem, they are really worshipping themselves and society. So Durkheim concludes, the worship of gods is really the worship of ancestors' souls, and this strengthens the collective conscience. Religion has a very important role to play in reinforcing the collective conscience and reinforcing the value consensus. Because without shared values and beliefs, there would be no order, and anomie would result. And as mentioned previously, anomie leads to the breakdown of society. So religion basically reinforces the collective consciousness and consensus through a variety of ways, through religious beliefs and also through collective worship. The attitude of reverence and respect towards the sacred is similar to having respect towards the social duties and respect towards society. Collective worship involves faith in common values, and it means that integration is strengthened because people come together and worship under the same roof, either in a church or a mosque or a synagogue. As a result of collective worship and following religious laws, the collective conscience is realised. Malinowski is another functionalist, and he too looks at small-scale society to explain his theory. He studied the Trobriand islanders. He looked at the rituals that they conducted when they were fishing. He compared fishing to the lagoon, and then he compared it with fishing in open waters. Lagoon fishing was safe, and as a result, they used the predictable method of poisoning, and there was no ritual. However, ocean fishing was dangerous, obviously, as the sea could get rough, and therefore it was uncertain. Ocean fishing, unlike lagoon fishing, was accompanied by rituals, which Malinowski refers to as canoe magic. This ensured a safe expedition. Malinowski argued that the rituals serve as a god of gaps. The rituals fill the gaps in human beings' control of the world. Religion reinforces norms and values and promotes social solidarity. This is because anxiety and tension disrupt social life. So it is possible, if we didn't have religion, that social solidarity wouldn't be restored. And again, this could lead to anomie. There are many crises that we have to put up with in our lives. Crises such as birth, puberty, marriage, death, all produce intense emotions. So Malinowski argued that we have ceremonies and rituals to deal with situations of emotional stress. And these ceremonies and rituals ensure that people can come together again and grieve, or come together as one. And this promotes social solidarity, because people come together in mourning, and it brings the social group back together and allows us to deal with emotional stress which threaten the stability of society. Even weddings, which are a rite of passage, could cause emotional stress. And by celebrating such a change in life, it brings people together and it reinforces the social solidarity and collective conscience. So, one of the last main functionalists that we've got to cover is Parsons. Parsons argues that life can be disrupted by unforeseen events. It's full of uncertainties. Parsons really leads on from what Malinowski says. So religion provides a means of coming to terms with the situation through rituals. Parsons focuses mainly on the rituals of rites of passage. So religion maintains solidarity by relieving the tensions and frustrations. And religious beliefs give meaning to life. So many people question life, particularly when tragic events happen. So religion gives hope to those individuals and gives us answers to those ultimate questions that we might ask. They help us make sense of our tragic experiences. Why did somebody die? Why did my wife leave me? Etc., etc. Parsons also looks at the Ten Commandments and argues that the Ten Commandments give us morals and laws to abide by. These are important for the functioning of a moral and stable society. And as mentioned before, some of the Ten Commandments have fed into law. So, it is argued that actually religion is declining and religion is becoming less important in modern society. So Durkheim accepted actually that new ideas may take over the function of religion, such as nationalism and communism. Durkheim referred to these as religious surrogates. They take the place of religion but still provide the functions of religion. Beller expands on this by talking about civil religion. So Beller argues that civil religion is where sacred qualities become attached to certain aspects of society. He uses the idea of Americanism to illustrate this, and he says that civil religion is highly evident in America. America is a nation of immigrants with a wide range of beliefs, he argues, and Americans are therefore united by faith in Americanism. Please watch the following YouTube clips, here and here. You won't be able to click on them, but please put them into your search bar to understand how civil religion is part of American life. Please ensure that you have detailed notes for next lesson, where we'll be looking at the criticisms of functionalism and linking in aspects such as social control and consensus.